Lesson is was going to teach you something that's going to help you become a better version of yourself. So you can't focus on the problem itself, because whatever you focus on, it grows. It wasn't the wins, it wasn't the ranks, it wasn't the big events. It was the moments that were hard. It was those days that made me strong and that made me the person that I am today. And those are the days that I want to talk about, because those are the days that count.
You see, the success and the legacy that you guys are all looking to build right now is already inside of you. It's inside of you right now at this very moment. But it's waiting for you to become the person that is willing to deserve it. And that's the key. And that's what I had to understand. I showed up every day. It could have been raining, could have been snowing, whatever could have been happening. You know where Nano was? He was there. That set me apart from everybody else. 90% of success is showing up. Everybody around me was telling me everything that they didn't want to see me do. So I had to remember, guys, it's your vision. And one thing you got to always remember, God whispers a vision to you, not to nobody else. So don't be surprised when other people can't see a vision that was just given exactly for you. If I would have let the vision that God gave me be deterred by the other people around me, it would have never happened. So I had to make sure that I was listening to the right people at all times. Your thoughts control your emotions. Your emotions determine your actions, and actions determine results. So if you're not happy with the results, then it's because you're not taking the proper actions. If you're not taking the proper actions, it's because your emotions are not in the right place. And if your emotions are not in the right place, it all goes back to how you're thinking. So if you're thinking positive, you're thinking abundance, you're thinking, everything that makes you feel good, then guess what? You're going to feel good. And if you feel good, you're going to act. And if you act, you'll get the results. Your comfort zone is what they call your broke zone, because there's no growth in your comfort zone. For real, there is no growth in your comfort zone. The only way you grow is when you're uncomfortable. And that's the only way I've grown. When I was comfortable, I was broke. I wasn't making no money. I couldn't do anything in life. I was not confident. I had no belief in my vision. You got to remember that gratitude is the answer to everything. Most of the time, our blessings come disguised in challenges. Most of the time. And what sometimes we think is the worst scenario in our life is sometimes what is the best thing that's happening to us.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking.
Wow, I'm so blessed. How's everybody feeling this morning? You guys can sit down. I'm gonna tell you guys a story, and then I'm gonna get into my lesson, but I wanna tell you guys a story about a mentor and a mentee, okay? And this mentee was struggling with his business. This mentee was going through things. This mentee was emotionally not being able to handle the business, all right? And this mentee, all right, he went up to his mentor And he told his mentor, he said, I don't know if I can continue to do this anymore. This journey is too hard. People are leaving my business, okay? These people that I trusted in, these people that I believed in, okay, are no longer here anymore, and I'm struggling. I think I'm getting ready to quit. So the mentor told the mentee something very important. He said, I want you to meet me tomorrow at this hike at 5 in the morning. That's what he told him. He said, okay, we're going to get through this, but I need you to meet me in the morning at 5 a.m. and we're going to go on a hike. And at the end of the hike, I have a gift for you. I have a gift if you can finish the hike. So we get here, right? I'm the mentor and I have my mentee with me. So we start going, we start walking, and we start coming up the hill. And the mentee is so excited. He's like, yes, I can't wait to get to the top of the hike. What is it that you have for me? What is this gift that you continue to talk about? And I'm like, don't worry about it. Just get there. And he continues and he continues. He's like, yo, I'm so excited to get to the top. And this is just such an exciting journey. And he's talking to me and he's just telling me about how he's so excited about this gift at the top of the mountain. Okay. And after a few hours of climbing, all right, we get to the top. And we have this beautiful view of everything. He sits there and he looks at me and he says, where's my gift? Where's the gift that you promised me? And I said, this is the gift. The top of the mountain is the gift. And he says, you mean to tell me that I climbed to the top of this mountain just for this view? And I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what it was. There was a lesson the whole time. You see, when he got to the top, he thought that the gift, right, was just the view. No, the gift was also the lesson that I was about to teach you right now. And I want you guys to write this down. This is one of the most important lessons that you guys will ever learn in life. I promise you guys this. Right? Write this down. The journey is what brings happiness, not the destination. The journey is what brings happiness, not the destination. Why do I say that here today? You gotta enjoy this journey that we're on right now. Does it get hard?
That's good, man. I look back at my old days and it makes me feel so good to know. Grand Rising Familia, happy Friday. TGIF. Thank God it is Friday. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to jump on this beautiful Friday morning call. I am excited. Spread the word. Let everybody know that we are live on this morning call. I am so excited to be here. I want to thank everybody that is out here right now. Very excited for everybody because I know that everybody is about to get a ton of value from today's call. For those that don't know, this morning I dedicated this call now to my little brother. Today is my little brother's birthday. His birthday is on Friday, March 13th, right? Friday the 13th. But my little brother is such an important person in my life. And when I think about the lessons that he's taught me about life, and just by watching him and being his big brother, he's taught me some extremely valuable lessons that I believe so many people on tonight's call, not tonight, but this morning's call can get value from, right? I've had the pleasure of being his big brother now he's 3 years younger than me. So he turns 29, which is crazy to even say. Like, I still think of my little brother as my little brother. I still think of him as like a 16, 17, 21-year-old little brother, right? But in reality, he's only 3 years younger than me. So he turns 29 today. And I was sitting here and I was thinking, I'm like, what do I teach today? What do I cover today? And as I'm thinking about all morning, I'm like, I'm going to just dedicate a call to my little brother. You know, my little brother is such a huge influence in my life. He's helped me become a better version of myself. He's helped me become a better brother, a better son, a better leader. He's held me to the highest standard, and he's forced me also to be a great big brother. So when I thought about, hey, what do I teach on this morning call? I want to teach you guys 5 valuable lessons that my little brother taught me that has absolutely changed my life in reality. And just by watching him, he don't even know that I'm doing this call for him right now because he's at work right now. So he's not on this call at all. But I'm hoping that he watches the recording when he's on his way from Tampa to Miami today, because he's actually coming to Miami later on today. He has a 4-hour drive. So I want to dedicate this call to my little brother because, like I said, it's his birthday, but he's also
he's had such a huge influence in my life, and he's helped so many people around him become better. So real quick, share this with more people. I see we already got over 30 plus people on the call. Let's keep sharing it. Let's keep spreading the word. I'm excited to see everybody get a ton of value from this morning call, because trust me, the lessons that he taught me are lessons that every single one of us are going to want to learn and understand. But before we get started, let's start off this call with some gratitude. What is one thing that everybody is grateful for on this beautiful Friday morning, March 13th? I am grateful for God. I am grateful for my health. I am grateful for my little brother. I pray that God gives him many more years of life, blessings, abundance. Thank you so much for being such a good little brother to me, and you forced me to become better, bro. So happy birthday again. I hope you're watching this, bro, and just know that I love you, G. I'm grateful for my godson, Wiley. I'm grateful for my goddaughter as well, Dariana. I'm grateful for my mom, my dad. I'm grateful for the roof over my head. I'm grateful for second chances. I love that. I'm grateful for mentors, grateful for my community, Alpha Society, grateful for all the leaders within the organization, grateful for the inner circle, just extremely grateful for everything that is happening in my life. If the team out in Chicago is watching, grateful for you guys. You guys are with some amazing people. My sister Jess, Tia, Samaya, Ron, all of them out there. You guys are with the best of the best. So make sure that you guys appreciate them. They're flying out to your cities and pouring into you guys. So, it's definitely extremely valuable for all of you to be there. And yeah, that's what it's all about. Grateful for every single person that is on this call, and grateful for the lessons that are going to be taught here on today's call as well. So I'm looking forward to it. It's something that I know that this is something that a lot of people are going to gain a ton of value from, and I'm just really, really looking forward to it. So before I get started with today's call, I think it's important that I give you guys a little bit of context about how me and my little brother grew up, and kind of like the story behind everything, right? So for those that don't know, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of context, and then I'm gonna jump into the 5 valuable lessons so you guys can understand. So I was born June 1st, 1994. I was born in New York, born and raised in New York, Washington Heights. I was raised by 2 Dominican parents. One of my parents, at the time when she was giving birth to me, she was a cashier at a grocery store. And my father has always been a taxi driver. Beautiful story, love story on how they met, etc. But after they had me, 3 years later, they had my little brother. Now, it's crazy because I don't know about you guys, but I can actually remember the day that my little brother was born. I remember being left at home with my family as my little brother was born. I remember my dad leaving the house. It's crazy because I can remember being 3 years old and my little brother being born, which is actually insane. It's like you guys ever watch that movie Inside? I think it's called Inside Out 2 or something like that, with the movie that it's like you're in the kids' brain, and they have core memories and emotions, and it's like, I think it's called Inside Out. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong on the name of the movie, but it's such a fire movie, but it made me understand a lot of things about life. And one of my core memories was my little brother being born. I told him that the other day. I'm like, yo, it's crazy. I was talking to him and I'm like, it's crazy, Lico. Like, I remember you being born. Like, I actually do remember the day you were born. I remember going to the hospital and, everything like that. So yeah, it's a really good movie. I highly, highly, highly recommend anybody that has not watched that movie to watch it, because it's so valuable. But to make the long story short, yeah, it's one of my favorite movies too. A lot of people don't know this, but my little brother, when he was born, he wasn't supposed to make it. My little brother actually had open heart surgery when he was born. Within, I think, if I'm not mistaken, within the first 24 hours, he had to have open heart surgery. My mom was about to die as well because, the placenta was left inside mistakenly. And my little brother had open heart surgery from the moment he was born. So imagine, he came into life immediately with challenges. And it was tough growing up because, we always thought that, he wasn't going to be able to live a normal life, whatever. And surprisingly, my little brother is one of the healthiest individuals that I know, actually. He was somebody that beat all the odds. He went against everything that could be possible when you think about somebody being born with open heart surgery. You know, he still has a scar when he takes off his shirt. You could kind of see it, you know, in the middle of his chest. And it's something that he values, you know, something that makes him unique. But he's been very blessed. He's been very fortunate, and God has blessed him with many more years of life, a healthy heart. He has been somebody that has pushed the limits to the max of his abilities. And today he's one of the most successful people in our family, right? My little brother is a financial planner for a billion-dollar company, if I'm not mistaken, out in Tampa. He makes multiple six figures. He's doing amazing things. He's a father before I ever was a father. He's led the way for so many people. So what I want to do on today's call is I want to teach you guys 5 valuable lessons that my little brother taught me, right? Like, what were the 5 most valuable lessons that my little brother taught me about just life in general, right? Because I think it's important that I share that with you guys, because he taught me some very valuable lessons that still to this day hit home for me. And I want to make sure that you guys kind of learn these lessons. So give me a 5 in the chat box if you guys are ready to learn 5 valuable lessons that my little brother taught me. This is a call dedicated to him. And I want to make sure that you guys learn what I've learned from my little brother that has helped change my life, so that it can also help you guys as well. So let's talk about these 5 valuable lessons really, really quick. That's all about character, leadership, and life. And I'm excited for it. All right. Now, the first valuable lesson that my little brother taught me, all right, was we got to defeat the odds. Defeat the odds, right? Oh, my little brother's watching on live. Love you, little bro. Happy birthday, man. I'm so happy for you. This calls for you, G. So listen up if you can. I know you're at work, but the lesson number 1 is defeat the odds. And when I think about defeating the odds, you know, my little brother wasn't supposed to make it, right? He had open heart surgery when he was born. You know, most people will look at that situation and assume limitations. But the reality is he defeated the odds. You know, today, my little brother is somebody that he goes on 6-7 mile runs at a time. He's done half marathons. You know, he's always on the road, traveling, super smart, super hardworking. And to think about it, right? Most people would think limitations in a situation like that. But instead, he's somebody that not only defeated the odds, but also over delivered on what is required from him as well. Because I think, I'll be honest with you guys right now, I can't even run right now a half a marathon. And under the circumstances, right, I have a full healthy heart. I didn't have open heart surgery, but here my brother is somebody that had open heart surgery at the beginning of his life, and he was able to go and run half a marathons, right? He's out here waking up and running. I forgot how many miles he ran in a week, but he ran like 30 miles in a week. That's hard. Like I don't run 30 miles in a month. You know, he's doing that weekly. And when I think about it, right, we also was raised in Washington Heights, New York City. So like growing up in the hood where drugs are being sold on every corner, where we didn't go to private school, where we didn't have all the resources in order for us to do what it is that we wanted to, my little brother has defeated all of those odds. And the reason why that was a very big, valuable lesson for me is because guess what? Every single one of us right now on this call, we're working on defeating the odds. Type a 5 in the chat if you're also working on defeating the odds right now. You grew up and you may not be in the situation that you want to be in. Some of us grew up with no dad, no mom. Some of us grew up in very humble environments. Some of us don't have the resources. We don't have the environments. All right. We didn't go to the schools. We don't have the money. We don't have the capital. There's so many of us right now on this call that are working to defeat the odds. And the odds in reality are stacked against us. There's a reason why so many people don't make it in life is because sometimes, bro, let's call it what it is. It's hard. It's hard. It's super hard. It's not an easy task to defeat because everything is stacked against you. All the odds, everything is working against you. Think about how hard that is. Think about how difficult it is for every single one of us. Unless we were born to a rich family that gave us all the resources and all the money and successful parents, then guess what? The odds are stacked against you right now. And this is why you got to be the individual to defeat the odds, because that's what my little brother did. He defeated the odds. He was telling me the other day, he was like, yo, Nano, he was just talking to me about the financial institution. He was telling me, he was like, yo, that I'm like, I forgot what percentage, but he was like, I'm like less than, I think that in his field, less than 5% of people are Latinos. He was explaining this to me, like, that like 5 to 10, only like 5 to 10% of people in the financial field, in the field that he's in, financial planning, financial services at the highest level. He said like 5 to 10% of people in this are Latinos, bro. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, this is insane, bro, that you've been able to beat the odds. Look at him beating the odds. He's part of a 5% group that became a financial planner. Not only that, he's a part of a small percentage of people that have his condition and are able to run marathons. Like, think about this stuff. Like, these are things that he did to defeat the odds. But the reason why I say that is so important for all of us to look at as an example is that he has every excuse in the book to be like, hey, look, I was raised in the heights. I had open heart surgery. I didn't have resources. I wasn't born to rich parents. But regardless, he found a way to make it happen. And the lesson for all of us that are here today, including myself and including all of us that are watching here right now, defeat the odds. They may be stacked against you. It may be hard. It may be difficult. But if my little brother could do it, any single one of us can do it. Any single one of us, right? Because the thing is, most people, they lose the battle in the mind, but not in reality. And just remember this, that your past, your struggles, your disadvantages, those are not your limitations. I'm telling you right now, all of that actually is proof that you were built to overcome. All right? You were built to overcome. As a matter of fact, in the Bible, it says, Romans 8:37, it says, in all these things, we are more than conquerors. In all these things, we are more than conquerors. We can conquer every challenge that life puts in our way. As a matter of fact, it also says that God won't give us a challenge that we won't overcome. So the only way that you won't overcome the challenges that life throws at you is if you quit and if you don't pursue it at the highest levels. My little brother could have chose to lose. He could have chose to limit himself. He could have chose to accept his limitations, but instead he over-delivered. Instead, he worked hard. Instead, he broke every limitation. I challenge you to use my little brother and his story as an inspiration to break all the limitations. And if you're on this call and you can relate and you're dealing with similar circumstances, health, resources, parents, etc., that maybe didn't give you the proper guidance and resources that are needed for you to become better, then guess what? Find a way. Because that's what we did. We found a way. We had everything stacked against us. Everything. Everything was stacked against us, but we made it happen. And I know that there's so many people on this call, including myself, where all the odds were stacked against us. And currently they're stacked against you. But you got to defeat them. And I'll tell you guys this, I'm still fighting the odds, still to this day. Growing up where we grew up, and I'm sure that a lot of us grew up in very humble environments, we weren't supposed to make it out, fam. But we did. So lesson number 1 is that defeat all the odds. Defeat them. Do not let them win. You win. You control how you are able to overcome all the odds. And that's number 1. That's lesson number 1 that my little brother taught me. Lesson number 2, value family over everything. Value family over everything. Type family in the chat if you value your family and if you love your family. Type family in the chat, right? You see, one thing about my little brother is family is a huge non-negotiable. Huge non-negotiable. Like it's mandatory for my little brother. And my little brother lives in Tampa. But for some amazing reason, he finds a way to value every single person in his family, right? Number one, his son lives out in North Dakota. He takes a flight there every other month to go see his son. When he's not there, he flies his son in to come see him monthly. He always tells me, he says, this is when I knew he was a real one, because I was telling him, I'm like, bro, you're spending a lot of money on these flights and flying out Wiley, you're flying back over there every single month. He's like, Nano, money comes and goes, but for me to watch my son grow up is more valuable to me than any amount of money. I don't care how much it costs me. It could cost me $20,000, $30,000 a year. I'm going to go see my son grow up. He values that more than anything. So he's taking flights every other month. And when he's not taking flights, he's flying his son to Tampa. Why? Because he values family, right? Today, he's driving 4 hours to come spend his birthday with his brother. He wants to come spend it here. Like, yo, I'm going to come spend it with you. Maybe we could go watch a game. Maybe we could go do this. But even when it's not his birthday, he takes the time to come out and see me, or he tells me to come up and see him. Certain moms, he says, yo, I miss mom. I miss dad. I'm going to fly out to New York and go spend a day with them. I'm going to go take mom and go to downtown with her, walk around with her. He is such a big family guy. He's the type of individual that when we go back home, he's the one planning out, all right, guys, he's hitting up all our friends. Yo, let's link up. Let's go to downtown. Let's have a beer. Let's have a dinner together. You guys should come over. He's always the one planning everything for the family, right? He does all the little things that a lot of people don't even realize. He goes out of his way to make sure he buys flights for my mom so she can come see us out here. Like, he goes above and beyond when it comes to family. And here's one thing about my little brother as well. He is always present in the moment. And that's something that I've had to learn from him. Because when I'm around my little brother, I'm not allowed to use my phone, and he will call me out ASAP. If I'm not present, let's say I'm with the family and I'm on my phone, or I'm taking calls, or I'm scrolling on Instagram, he'll be the first one to tell me, like, bro, stay present. You're always on your phone. Get off your phone. Go leave the phone in the room. Come spend time. If I'm with Wiley, who's my godson and my nephew, he's making sure stay present, stay present, stay present. And I want to let all of us know something here. I know that we live in a society where there's so many distractions. There's so much things to do. And growing up, I see my brother Jay Miles on this call. You know, I'm sure growing up when people didn't have these devices, being present with your family was something that was valued at the highest level, right? I'm sure Jay Miles can agree. But now with phones, people are at the dinner table with their phones. People are everywhere they go is with their phones. And people have a tough time staying present. Let me tell you guys something, and this is something that I'm also learning myself. It is so important to be present when you are with the people you love, because you never know. You just never, ever, ever know when's going to be the last time that you're going to be with that family member or that person. So do your best to value family, but also the way you show your value to your family is by being present. Be present. Get off your phone for that time being. Have genuine conversations with your people. Get to know people. Find out what they're struggling with. Find out their challenges. Find out things that can help you deepen that relationship with your family, because family is all we got at the end of the day. And that's the reality of it. Family is all we got at the end of the day. And when you're with your family, you want to be fully present. And that's a very valuable lesson that I had to learn myself, because even though I understand the value of family, sometimes you get so caught up in the grind and the hustle and the wanting to be better and sometimes in reality, you know, even Jim Rohn says it. He says, when it's fun, it's fun. When it's family, don't mix the two, right? When it's work is work. When it's family, don't mix the two. Sometimes we like to bring our work to our family. And you're at the dinner table, you're at work, you're doing something, but you're always bringing work to family. Try not to mix it, to separate it. When it's family time, it's family time. When it's work, it's work. Do your best not to mix the two. And that's one of the valuable lessons that my little brother taught me, because he does a phenomenal job of splitting both of those up. When it's work for my little brother, he's working. He's at work. He's doing what he got to do, etc. But when it's family, it's family. He'll go fly to New York and spend the whole day and the whole weekend with my father and mom and just sit there and talk to them and watch the news with them and have a beer with them, present in the moment. Same with the friends, same with me, right? Same with his son. This is so important. And that was something that from watching him, I learned myself. Even though I already knew, because, you know, you say that you know, but you don't really know until you see the example of somebody that actually leads with it, right? You'll be surprised how much you can learn from watching other people. And I learned from my little brother how much he values it, but also the example that you got to set while you're with family. Value your family, value your kids, value your friends, value the people that are valuable in your life. And you don't have to show people value by gifts. You don't have to show people value by the things that you do for them. You value people in your life by the quality time and the presence that you have when you spend those time with them. And that is so important. I challenge you this weekend while you're with your family to be present. I challenge you while you're with your family this weekend to stay present in the moment. If you don't have family that lives close to you, I challenge you this morning to reach out to your family. Have a call, FaceTime them, catch up with some of them. When was the last time you heard from a couple family members, right? This is something that I know that nowadays everybody's living their own life. Everybody's living in different cities, different countries. Everybody's living their own life. And sometimes we tend to grow apart. Do your best to keep your family together. Value family. And like I said, I got to give a lot of credit to my little brother because he makes sure to keep the family together. I always say he's the backbone. He's the glue. Because regardless of what's happening, he always finds a way to bring us back together. And it's not that we are a separated family, because me and my family, we're actually really close. We talk every single day. We talk every day. My mom, it's mandatory for me to talk to my mom daily. I cannot go a day without talking to my mom. It is unacceptable in my family. My mom does not allow me or my little brother to go a day without talking to them. As a matter of fact, I have my location on for my mom and my little brother. Like we're like this, right? Daily, we must talk. Me and my little brother may not talk every single day. We'll probably talk every other day or every 2 days. But when we talk to my mom, we know what each of us are doing because we both call our moms daily. It's mandatory in our family to call mom daily, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. Right. And I think that this is something that you guys can learn a lot from as well. Valuing family is one of the most important things because, like I said, at the end of the day, money comes and goes, accomplishments come and go, failures come and go. But you know what's something that stays? Family stays. So make sure that you value family at the top of your list. This is bigger than success. This is bigger than money. This is bigger than anything that we could actually comprehend. Value your family at all times because that's important. That's number 2. All right. Number 3, third lesson I learned from my little brother that is extremely valuable to me is that accountability is everything. Accountability is everything. One thing that I respect about my little brother is that he is going to hold you accountable. He's going to let you know if you're wrong. He's going to let you know if you haven't kept your word. He's going to let you know if you're not doing what you said you're supposed to do. And I think that we need more people like that in our lives that hold not only themselves accountable, but hold others around them accountable. Imagine if you had somebody in your life that the moment they saw you slip up, they will let you know. The moment they see you not living up to your standards, they let you know. The moment they see you not keeping your word, they'll let you know. Imagine if you had somebody that constantly held you accountable, that it wasn't just you, but you were holding others accountable. But you see, the thing about holding people accountable is you can't hold people accountable if you're not holding yourself accountable. Self-accountability is everything. Self-accountability is everything. So holding yourself to a higher standard is very important because if you do that, then you can hold others at a higher standard. And growing up My little brother was always my biggest accountability partner. If he saw me slipping up even a little bit, just even a little bit, yo, you haven't woke up the last couple of days for your morning routine. What's going on? Yo, Nano, I see you gaining a little bit of weight, bro. You gaining a little bit of weight. I'm seeing the belly. You slipping up, bro. Yo, bro, you haven't called me in 3 days, 4 days. Don't forget about your little brother. What's going on? He's the first person to check me. He's the first person to check me. Why? Because he understands accountability. He's always paying attention to the people in his life that he has to hold accountable. And it's not that he holds people accountable to make people feel bad. He holds people accountable to make sure that we are all on point. He holds my mom and dad accountable. Think about that. He holds my mom and dad accountable. Think about how powerful that is for you to be holding your parents accountable. If they don't keep their word, he's calling them out. And he's telling them off. Like, he's respectfully, he's going to let them know how he feels. If I'm not living up to my expectations, he's calling me out. My friends, they'll tell you. He's telling them what's up. He comes to New York and, sometimes, obviously everybody has their life, but he'll tell my friends what it is too. Growing up, he always been the person to hold us accountable. And it's so important for us to learn that from him, that the reason why he has such great people in his life is not just because of us ourselves growing and becoming better, but in reality, a lot of the reason why we've grown, including myself, my family, his baby mom, and his son, everybody around him, right? The reason why we've grown and we've developed ourselves is because of our little brother, because of my little brother, because he holds us at a specific standard. And I say that to you guys because think about it. You can hold people in your family accountable and you can make them better. Because I had a little brother that held me at such a high standard and always held me accountable. He don't know this, but I always would show up and I would make sure that I was doing what I was supposed to do, because the last thing I wanted was an uncomfortable conversation from my little brother. That's the last thing I wanted. I didn't want my little brother to see me and be like, yo, bro, you're getting fat. I want my little brother to see me and be like, bro, you're getting strong. I don't want my little brother to see me and be like, yo, you're not keeping your word on what you said. I want to make sure that I'm keeping my word. So because I always knew that I had a little brother that would hold me accountable and call me out on my BS, because he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't care that I'm his big brother. He doesn't care that I'm a successful entrepreneur. He doesn't care that I'm a public speaker. He doesn't care about none of that. He just cares about me. He cares about my integrity. He cares about my character. He cares about my leadership. And if I'm not living up to it, he's calling me out on it. And what's the lesson here? That not only that you need to be self-accountable yourself, but you need to be able to hold people around you accountable. Think about how many people around you, if they had more accountability, would be better. But like I said, in order for you to hold others accountable, you got to be living to the standard that you could hold people accountable. Because you see, he could tell me that I'm slipping up on going out on a run because he's going on runs every day. He's running 25, 30 miles a week. So he could call me and be like, yo, you're not doing your stuff when it comes to the gym and stuff, because he's doing it every day. He could tell me that I'm not doing this or doing that, because anything that he holds me accountable to, he's living it. And like I said, people around you would be better if you held them accountable and you were the example. It's important for us to be the example for people in our lives. You want to be the example. Now, I've been very blessed and fortunate because I've been an example for many years as well. But none of that would have been possible and consistent if I didn't have him looking. Because when you don't have no one looking, it's easy to be like, you know what? Not today. You know what? I could slip up today. I'm going to sleep in today. When you have nobody watching, it's easy to slip it up. But I always had him watching. He was always watching, right? It's like having your own kid almost in a way, right? Your little brother. For anybody that, I just want to see real quick, by a show of number twos, if you are a big brother or a big sister to a little brother or a little sister, give me a 2 in the chat if you are like an elderly brother or sister to somebody. I just kind of want to see by a show of. Anybody here the older sibling? Oh wow, we have a couple. We have a couple older siblings here. So you guys know. So you guys are on this call and you guys are relating. Look, guys, it's up to us to be an example. It's up to us to be an example. And let me tell you guys this. As the elderly brother and sisters that we are, we have to be the example, right? We have to set the standard, because now elderly is crazy, yeah. But the older sibling, if you want to call it, right? But we're the older ones. But you kind of confused. Nah, I'm lost. Wait. Okay, yeah. So being the older brother and sister, right? You have to be the example, right? Because now whatever you do is what's gonna be followed, right? They say that people don't do what you say, people do what you do. And this is for kids as well. All right. So if you want your little brother, little sister to be great, then you have to be that example first. Because here's the thing. If you're a great example and you've always been a great example, your little brother, your little sister is going to follow. Now, if you have a really good relationship with that little brother, little sister, if you've always been a great example and you start to behave below the great example, they're going to hold you accountable to that if you have a great relationship with that brother or sister. Because that's the thing with me and my little brother. I've set such a great example that anytime he sees me not living up to that example, I'm held accountable immediately. And he holds me accountable without even saying anything sometimes, because I just know that he's there in the back of my mind. Like, damn, if I go and talk to Lico today, he's going to be there. He's going to be there. He's going to tell me what it is. And sometimes you know how it is when you're slipping up, nobody wants to hear that stuff sometimes, right? You just don't want to hear it, even though you know you have to hear it, but nobody wants to hear it sometimes. So I'll fix up my act before even having the conversation. Accountability is everything. As a matter of fact, we will all be better people if we had more accountability in our lives. Think about it. Why do you pay for a trainer? A lot of us, we know how to work out on our own. Why do you think you pay for a trainer? You pay for a trainer more for the accountability more than anything, because your trainer is going to make sure that you finish every set, that you go to the gym, that you're eating the right foods, that you're counting your macros, that you're doing everything. That's why people pay for trainers. That's why people pay for coaching, for the accountability. An example, my brother, Christian Velez, right now I am coaching him. And I'm sure he's not going to mind that I say this, but the other day we were jumping on a call, and it was the end of February. And he sent me a message and he was like, bro, just want to let you know, February hasn't been my best month. You know, February, I slipped up a little bit. It was snowing a lot in New York. I kind of got caught up, and 2 weeks, I haven't been my best the last 2 weeks. Like I've had a good week, but it hasn't been my best. And we jumped on the call, and, I'm coaching him. And one of the things that he tells me is like, yo, I'm so grateful that I have you in my life, right? Because if I don't have this conversation with you at the end of February, and you don't check me and you don't tell me a little bit about your vulnerabilities and that it was also a difficult month for you as well, right? Maybe I fall into it, and starting the month of March, maybe I continue the slump that I felt the last 2 weeks. But because I had accountability from you, because I have you in my life, I'm able to flip the switch and I'm able to make the adjustment and now start the month of March a lot stronger. So the purpose of me telling you guys that is that accountability is important, because I was there and I was holding him accountable and letting him know, like, yo, we can't be slipping up, bro. Like, none of us can, not even me. We can't afford to slip up. This is the best year of our lives. Accountability is everything. Guys, find yourself an accountability partner, whether it's a little brother or a little sister, whether it's a trainer, whether it's a coach. Accountability is everything. And I don't only have a little brother as an accountability partner. I have mentors. I have leaders in my life that are also huge accountability partners for me. My big brother Matt. I'm a little brother to my big brother Matt. You know, like for example, if I'm not living up to my certain standards, bro, I get tough phone calls from my mentor all the time. And he has tough conversations with me where he lights me up. Like, yo, Nano, some of you guys don't even know that, but like, you know, I'm always the leader, the mentor, etc. But I also have people in my life that if I'm not living up to the standards that I'm supposed to be living up to, I'm immediately held accountable. Immediately, I'm held accountable. And I appreciate it. And one thing about me, I'll tell you guys this, I'm very coachable. I'm not egocentric when it comes to being held accountable. You know, when somebody's being held accountable and the first thing that they want to do is defend themselves, they want to make themselves the victim. I've never been that person. If I'm being held accountable, it's because somebody that loves me and somebody that sees something that I don't is telling me something I need to hear. So I'm usually the one that stays quiet and just listens and makes the changes. And when you're being held accountable, that's the best thing you could do. Don't try to justify it. Don't try to be the one to defend yourself. Just shut up, listen, and make the change. Because if somebody's holding you accountable, it's because they love you. It's because they see something that you're not seeing, and it's because you're not living up to what you said you're going to live up to. So accept the accountability. As much, let me tell you guys, accountability is uncomfortable, right? Can we all agree? Accountability is uncomfortable. Imagine having somebody come to you and tell you, yo, you're not living up to your word. You told me that you were going to wake up every day at this time and you haven't done it. Imagine somebody coming to you and telling you, hey, you're not keeping your word. You're not living up to your standard. Yo, you're a Christian man. You're a Christian woman. You're not supposed to be doing this, and that. You know how hard that is to have people? And let me tell you the truth. It's tough, but it's needed. Because if you don't have those people in your life, then it's easy to slip up. It's easy to fall back into your old ways. You don't know how many times, especially once you start to surround yourself with God-driven people, you don't know how many times I've been in the cusp of about to commit a sin, and I get reminded, yo, Nano, that's not you anymore, bro. You're God-driven now, bro. You're saved, bro. You can't do that. And then I get reminded and I'm like, you're right. I can't. Because naturally your old ways would kind of in the moment is like, whatever. One time is not going to kill nobody, right? But if you have good friends around you and you have people that hold you accountable, they'll remind you. And instead of you taking the fall, you get saved. You need that. Trust me, guys, you need accountability. And you need good people that are not scared to tell you what it is, no matter how big or how great or how accomplished you are. The best leaders and the best people have high accountability partners. But like I said, if you want your accountability to be respected, you have to be the example. Because it's hard to respect somebody that's trying to hold you accountable that doesn't live up to what they say they're saying as well. That's the tough thing about it. So imagine if I'm trying to hold you accountable, but I'm not living up to the things that I'm trying to hold you accountable for. Like, that's like me telling you, hey, you're not doing your morning routine, but then here I am not doing mine. Or, hey, you're not going to the gym, but here I am not going to the gym. No, you have to be the example to be able to hold other accountables. So the third lesson that my little brother taught me is that accountability is everything. Accountability is love. If he didn't love me, he would just let me mess up. If he didn't see me at a higher standard, if he didn't want me to be a better brother, a better son, a better godfather, all these, then he would just let me mess up. But because he loves, because he appreciates, because he wants to see me do better, not only for him, but for his family and for all of our families, he's willing to hold you accountable. It says it in the Bible. In the Bible, Proverbs 27, verse 17, it says, iron sharpens iron. So one person sharpens another. You need accountability partners. If you don't have one, we should get one. You should get one. Accountability is everything. All right, so that's lesson number 3. Lesson number 4 that my little brother taught me And this one's a big one right here. And this one's huge. All right. Resilience through failure. Resilience through through failure is so big. You got to be resilient, right? You got to be resilient. My little brother has taught me that even through failures, you got to keep going. One thing about my little brother, he has been through so much failures. I just mentioned his open heart surgery, but my little brother has also had Tommy John surgery as well. For those that don't know what Tommy John surgery is, because he was also a baseball player like me, and he was also a pitcher like me, my little brother suffered a surgery in his elbow where basically the tendon that basically connects your elbow. I don't really know everything. I'm not an expert, but I know that it has a tear. It kind of like that tendon, it tears. And then they basically have to take a tendon from either, if I'm not mistaken, is either from your knee or from another place in your body. And then they replace it with the tendon that was ripped in there, basically, in a way, if I'm not mistaken. And he had that as well back in high school. He wasn't able to pitch his senior year in high school, if I'm not mistaken. He won a championship and everything, but he wasn't able to pitch. He's also had that surgery, and he's also went through tough times in college, making baseball teams. But one thing about my little brother is that he was always resilient, regardless of the challenges, though. He's been through a lot of challenges, a lot of challenges. But he always gets back up. And because of that, he's been able to now become, like I said, a top financial planner in Tampa, making 6 figures. But that didn't come overnight, though. It took a lot of failed attempts, a lot of failures, a lot of people that doubted him, that didn't believe in him, that most people in his situation could have just settled. But instead, he continued. I want to let you guys know right now, if you're on this call, we can all learn from him. If you're dealing with challenges, you're falling down, you can get back up. And you can keep pushing, and the dreams and the goals and the aspirations that you want, they're there. You just got to go get them. You got to keep showing up, even if things don't go your way, because life is going to test you. Business is going to test you. Faith is going to test you. All right. But resilience is the difference between people who quit and people who become great. Remember that. Resilience is the difference between people who quit and people who become great. And the reason why my little brother is great is because he kept going. He kept going. He never stopped. And in the Bible, James 1:12 says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial." Blessed is the one who perseveres under trials. You're blessed if you keep going. You're blessed if you fall and you get back up. You're blessed if you make a phone call and you don't get the sale and you keep selling. You're blessed if you post a picture on Instagram or a reel on Instagram and it doesn't go viral. You're blessed. You're blessed if you went broke and you kept going. You're blessed. You know how many times I've gone broke? More times than can count. I've gone broke many times. Many times. I've had to start from zero many times. But blessed is the one who perseveres under trials. Blessed is the one who's able to keep going even when things are stacked against him. Blessed is the one. We got to keep this in mind, guys. This is what it's all about. We are all blessed because we keep going. And one thing I'm going to tell you guys, my little brother has always kept going. He keeps me going. Because how can I stop when I have him pushing me all the time? I can't. Right? It's like it's almost impossible to stop. Right? When my baseball career came to an end, he was still playing baseball, but I had to keep going, because it was like, yo, what example am I going to set for my little brother? Like, what's going to be the example that I set? I may not be the best. I may not be the most talented, but I got to do my best to be the best example. So that resilience, a lot of it also came from me, right? Like, I don't want to make it about me today because it's more about him, but he saw how many times I failed. He saw how many times people laughed at me. As a matter of fact, At one point, my little brother didn't even believe that what I was doing was gonna get me to where I wanted to go to. Everybody doubted it at one point, but for him to see the life that I live today and the places I've traveled to, the things I've accomplished, he tells me all the time, he's like, bro, it's insane what you've been able to do, because he understands it now, right? He's an example of it. He sees it and he's like, bro, because all he could think about was all those mornings that I woke up and he stayed in bed, and I would wake him up because I would turn the light on in the room, and every morning he would see me wake up and go to the park by myself at 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning. And there were days that it was raining. There were days that it were cold. And he would stop me on the way out. Like, bro, you really going to go to the park? Like, it's raining, bro, outside. I'm like, yeah, bro, like, it's no problem. Like, I'll just go sit under a tree or something. Like, I got to get this working, bro. He's like, bro, but just do it at home. I'm like, nah, bro, I got to get out of here. He's like, bro, but it's cold. I got to go. Yo, but take a day off. It's already been, you've been doing this every day. I said, I can't, bro. I got to keep going. He said, bro, but you're dealing with all of this. You just broke up with this girl. This happened. You're dealing with this and you're going to still go? I'm like, yeah, bro. I got to go every day. I got to show up every day. And at the time, he didn't understand. At the time, he would get annoyed when I would wake up and go to the park and turn on the lights. But he was like, now he looks at it. He's like, bro, it makes sense why you did all of that. Like, he didn't understand then, but now he does. Because now he's doing it. Now he's the one up at 4:30, 5 in the morning, going for runs, doing routines, reading the books, all of that stuff. Resilience is everything. You got to keep going. No matter what, you have to keep going. Because that's how life is. If you stop at any point, that's when you lose. My mentor once told me, he said, winners never quit and quitters never win. Winners never quit. Type a win in the chat box if you are a winner, right? If you are a winner. Type win. Let me type win in the chat box if you are a winner. Because if you're a winner, you never quit. You never, ever, ever quit. And that's what it's all about. All right. And then the last lesson that my little brother taught me, this one is valuable right here. Here's what I want you guys to remember. Talent may open the door, but consistency keeps the door open. I'm going to repeat that. The final lesson my little brother taught me was that talent might open the door, but consistency is what keeps the door open. That's the truth right there. Talent could open the door, but consistency keeps it open. One thing that I've learned is that me and my little brother weren't always the most talented. We weren't. That's the truth. But we were always the most consistent. We always were the ones that, regardless of circumstances, we always showed up. We always worked hard. We always wanted to be the ones that outworked everybody. That was one thing about us. We weren't the most talented, but like Jim Rohn says, you gotta make up in numbers what you lack in skill. I'll never forget that when I learned it from Jim Rohn. If you're not the most talented, if you're not the smartest, you got to make up in numbers what you lack in skill. And that's what me and my little brother did our whole lives. We would make up in numbers what we lacked in skill. So what do? We woke up earlier than everybody. We studied more than everybody. We did the things that most people didn't want to do. We read books. People didn't like to read books. We read books. We wrote our goals down. We invested into ourselves. We took risk. I'm more of the risk taker than my little brother. My little brother's more of the conservative type. Obviously, he has a family. He has a son. So he thinks that the risks that I take are stupid sometimes, because I do take stupid risk. I'm not going to lie. I have taken a lot of stupid risk in my life. I'm not going to lie. But if you don't risk it, you'll never know, right? You definitely never, ever know. Me and my little brother basically took different paths, but we're basically the same person. because I went the entrepreneurship route. He went the corporate route. Still, both of us very successful. But I believe my little brother is going to become an entrepreneur here soon. You got to risk it for the biscuit. Exactly. I truly believe in my heart my little brother will become an entrepreneur here soon. I told him that we should start our own investment company called Torres Investments. Dude, he could be all of our financial advisor and planner. He knows, dude, he's managing millions of dollars for so many successful people. I'm like, bro, you can help people in my community manage the couple thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars that we have. You could become our financial planner, right? So, you know, I've been talking to him about it, but the good thing is he's getting his experience. You know, he has about 5 years of experience already. I told him, bro, keep building it up, get the experience, build the community, do everything, because then eventually you're going to be the financial planner for the inner circle. We need you in the inner circle, bro. We need somebody that we can trust, somebody that we know has integrity, somebody that's in home. Dude, start your own thing. Start Torres Investments. We need to tell him to quit his job and come do Torres Investments so that he can help us manage our money, help us set up our life insurance policies, help us create investment plans, like legitimate investment plans. Not like these investment plans that you hear about nowadays, legitimate investment plans with your money in the right places, growing real percentages every single month, because he does that for other clients in his company. Right? Like that's what it's about. And he could do that for us. That's the thing. But obviously right now he can't. And here's the thing about the company that he works for. The minimum investment to invest in the company that he works for is $1 million. So if I came there with him and I told him, yo, Lico, I got 100,000, he can't do nothing for me. If I came with 500,000, he can't do nothing for me. It don't matter that I'm his brother. He literally could do nothing for me if I don't come with $1 million liquid. So imagine that he's managing people that have millions of dollars. The minimum investment is $1 million. So if you don't got $1 million, you can't even have a conversation. That's the thing. You got to have the money and then you got to qualify. That's a whole nother thing. You got to qualify then as well. So it's not like, hey, I got $1 million now, I want to invest. No. You got to have the money and then you got to be willing to also qualify. So just know in the future, we're going to have the best one. He's learning right now. He's understanding the game. He's getting experience in the game. He's learning everything, literally. And as he gets better, I mean, he has every test. He has every certificate that you can think about. You know, like he's him. You know, he's him for sure. And it's crazy because I'm on this call and I'm just a proud big brother. You know, I'm just a huge, proud big brother. Because let me tell you guys, it feels good to have somebody that has beat the odds, bro. He's literally defeated all odds. And I sit around and I'm like, man, my little brother's really, really him. You know, like he's never gave up. He shows up every single day. He doesn't allow the odds to be stacked against him, and he shows up. And that's what life is all about, guys. Like, these are the valuable lessons that he's taught me that I know so many other people that are on this call. We can all learn, right? Like, we can all learn from an individual like that. And eventually, like I said, I'll go back to number 5 again. Talent can open the door, but consistency is what keeps you in the door. Let me tell you guys this. The only thing to keep me in the door, think about it. How many people do we know started morning calls? People that were more talented than me, people that had more value than me, people that had more money than me started morning calls. There was a time where, because my morning calls became so popular, everybody started doing morning calls. I don't know if some people may remember those times. I think like Femi, you may remember those times. Ricardo, you might remember those times. I don't know if you guys remember, but you guys remember back in like 2020, 2021, when Mornings with Nano was at the all-time high and people started to realize like, yo, morning calls are a thing. Like, morning calls are fire. Everybody started to do morning calls. I remember everybody was doing morning calls. Talent may open the door, but, you know, consistency kept the door open. None of them are still doing them to this day. And guess what? I'm still doing them 5-6 years later. Giselle, what's up, sister? Yeah, everybody started doing morning calls. Then people started leaving my morning calls to join their morning calls, and it was like it became like a thing because they were like, "Yo, if Nano's able to have 5,000, yo, there was a time where mornings when Nano had 5,000 people on this call. It's insane to think like you see how we average here on mornings with Nano a couple hundred a day. Like there was a time that it was a couple thousand a day. Obviously, it was during COVID, so everybody was at home. But once everybody went back home, the numbers obviously went down. But that time I remember during COVID, it was crazy. It was crazy. But talent opened the door for me, but consistency kept me in there. And that's something that my little brother has taught me. We haven't always been the most talented, but I can tell you guys this. We were always the most consistent. And if you want to make it in life, these are 5 lessons that you guys can take with you home that I learned from my little brother that can help you guys out. So number 1 is defeat the odds. Beat all the odds that are stacked against you. Zoom stock was crazy, man. If I would have known, I would have invested in Zoom back in 2017 when I first got on Zoom. Man, that would have been a good investment, though, no lie. In 2017 to invest in Zoom, because 2020, sheesh, right? But number 1 is defeat the odds. Make sure you beat all the odds stacked against you. Number 2 is value family over everything, right? Family is non-negotiable. Family is non-negotiable. Number 3 is accountability is everything. Accountability is everything. Number 4 is resilience through failure. Make sure you're staying through failure. And then last but not least, number 5 is that talent will get you in the door, but consistency will keep it open. And those are 5 valuable lessons I learned from my little brother. So little bro, if you're still watching this on Instagram, if you're listening to the recording, happy birthday, bro. These are 5 lessons that you taught me that have helped me become a better man, a better leader, a better brother, a better son, a better everything, bro. So I want you to know that I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so proud of the man that you've become, bro. I see everything that you do, and you make incredible sacrifices, not only for me, but for my family, for our family, for your son, for everybody around you, bro. And we just want you to know that you're valued, you're appreciated. I mean, there's really no words that can describe the gratitude and the love that I have in my heart for you, bro. You've changed my life indirectly and directly, and I'm just honored, bro. I feel like the luckiest big brother in the world to have a little brother like you, bro. So I dedicated this whole call to you. Everybody in the chat loves you, even though they don't know you. They love you, bro, because that's how much you mean to me. I would literally sit here and dedicate a whole call to you just because of how much you've done for me. And this is just a little bit of what I can do compared to what you have done for me, my brother. So I just want you to know that you're honored, you're appreciated, bro. Your big brother always got your back through everything, bro. You can always count on big bro to be there for you, bro. You can always count on me. You have a brother here at all times, and you're just appreciated always, my brother. So I love you, little bro. Libby. His name is Lico, but his real name is Joel. And then we have like this little joke where we call each other Libby, which is hilarious because people like, what is Libby? And it's like a thing that we created, right? To kind of know ourselves. It's like a hidden message, Libby. Like it's literally what we call ourselves. Even my mom, my dad, we're all in on it now, and we all call each other Libby and stuff like that, which is so funny. But it's like I can't even explain it. It's just funny, right? But it's all love, bro. We love you. We appreciate it. If you guys got value from the 5 lessons, give me some 555s in the chat boxes. If you guys got value from today's call, always super grateful and blessed. And it's amazing what's happening here today. So I wanted to dedicate this call to my little brother. So I appreciate you guys even hopping on and listening in and, getting the lessons. I pray that you guys were able to get some value from today's lessons. I have another call I got to jump on here. So I do apologize. I got to hop off here. I did go a little bit longer than usual due to the fact that the call started a little bit later, but the call is over. I'm going to do a little prayer for us. I'm going to just let God know how grateful we are. And then we're going to wrap up the call. So quick prayer, and then we'll end the call right there. Everybody bow their heads. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you so much on behalf of the whole entire community for allowing us to wake up on this beautiful Friday morning
We all feel so blessed to make the wake up list. And we just want to thank you so much for this amazing week that has been filled with so many breakthroughs and so much wisdom and so much knowledge. I want to thank you for giving my little brother another year of life. Thank you for giving him health, for giving him strength, and thank you for always being there for him every single step of the way. Continue to bless him, continue to guide him, and continue to allow him to grow into the person that you want him to be, because he is one of your servant leaders and he is committed to the kingdom more than I've ever been. So we are so grateful for you, God. Thank you. And for everybody that's on this call, God, we just want to say thank you to you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for creating this amazing community where we can all grow and become better versions of ourselves. And just thank you for your grace. Thank you for washing us clean of our sins. Thank you for forgiving us. Thank you for challenging us. Thank you for it all, God. On behalf of the whole community, I just want you to know that we have a grateful heart for all that you're doing for us. So we pray that you continue to guide us, love us, protect us, and everything that we do is for your honor and for your glory. In God's name we pray. Amen, amen, amen. Let's go. God bless. Thank you guys again. An amazing call, an amazing prayer, some amazing lessons. Liko, little bro, we love you. Have a great day. I'll see you later. We're going to have some good dinner. Maybe we'll go watch a game tonight. And yeah, let's get it rocking, guys. God bless everybody. Enjoy the rest of your days. And I'll see you guys again back on Monday. God bless, fam. Thank you so much. Thank you, fam.